Welcome to Jim Arneill's backyard. Jim, it's a pleasure being here today. Thank you for having us.
Wonderful to be here.
We came to look at Jim's water garden, and one thing that you're going to notice as you're watching this particular clip is that this pond seems to look like it's been here forever, but I know that wasn't the case when you put it in.
No, actually, when we moved in this house about 19 years ago, this was all just regular turf lawn.
Yeah, sure.
And we are environmentalists, so we aren't big fans of using a lot of water and fertilizer. So we decided, what else can we do with this big grassy space? And we thought, first thing we're going to do is we're going to plant a really nice tree. And since then, we thought, we need some water here. Besides taking less fertilizer and watering and everything, you get to enjoy a lot of natural beauty. You get the sound of the water. You get to experiment with a lot of different plants and everything.
I think that's one of the misconceptions about a pond is that they are wasteful of water. And you took turf out to put a pond in. Now, ponds don't use as much water as turf, do they?
No, there still is some evaporation. So you want to try to have a lot of coverage with water lilies and other plants to kind of decrease some of the evaporation, and you get some of that naturally on warm days as well.
Now this is in a very sunny spot, and you need all that light to grow all these plants, correct?
There's a range in terms of the light needs of plants, but in general, we wanted to select a spot that had at least 5 or 6 hours of good sunlight, and that enables you to grow the water lilies, which are the jewels of the ponds. And so when you provide warm water, some fertilizer tablets now and then, and just all that nice sunshine that we get in Colorado, it's a great recipe for getting a lot of different colors. If I were to recommend a pond for most people, I would say make it large enough so that you can grow water lilies.
But you're going to get some water issues. Some water quality issues.
Right.
And I see you've got a filter in the bottom of the pond. Now that would be an in-ground pond, and you made that yourself.
Yeah.
Now for those of you who don't like the idea of getting in the pond to maintain your filter, you can also buy already made filtration systems that mount on the outside. You can hide them very easily. You can deal with them on the outside of the pond. You don't have to get in and get wet.
Exactly.
But about how much time a week do you think you spend maintaining this pond?
On the summertime, I probably spend maybe 2 hours a week.
That's not bad at all. You'd spend that if it was lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much time.
Now, real quickly, how deep did you have to make this pond to winter your fish and your plants in the pond?
2 to 3 feet is kind of the range that people recommend, and that way you don't worry about the fish not being able to winter over.
Well, as much as I like these big ponds, I have one in my own backyard. You can also do small ponds without having to dig a hole, just in a container, and you have some of those on the deck, and I believe you're going to talk with MJ about that and the upcoming pond tour.
I'd love to show them to her. Hi MJ, I'm delighted you can be here to enjoy our deck today.
I'm excited the fact that I got to talk to you in the shade versus Keith having to stand in the sun.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day today. You know, one of the great things about the fact we have such great days and nights is you have a spectacular event coming up.
Well, we do. We have a tour for members, and it involves visiting different members' houses and checking out how their ponds turned out and just trying to get ideas. If there are people thinking about joining, we would certainly enjoy having them come and check it out and maybe join membership. When people have questions about things, we're there as a resource.
Speaking of questions, what are some of the questions that are the most common that you guys hear?
How do you get started in a water garden? People don't need to have like grand scheme kind of plans at the beginning. They could just start on a small level, get comfortable, and then kind of go from there.
Now, one of the things that we discussed earlier that's really important is the kind of sunlight they're going to want to have in their backyards. What is your recommendation?
Overall, if you want things to flower, you want to make sure they get a minimum of like 5 to 6 hours of sunlight.
So it sounds like the most important part is lots of really good pre-planning.
Exactly, yep.
Well, fantastic. The water garden is really, truly easy and simple. And when we get back, we are going to talk more about these handy little tubs and show you that gardening can be simple and very basic to give you the inspiration you need to get started. That's coming up next on Dig In.
Hi, this is Chef Mick from Tony's Markets. Today we're going to take everything out of the garden and make a beautiful dish of ratatouille.